Rockford Construction Company Ergonomic Training. Training elements: definition, planning, tools and equipment, cooperation, materials, training, ergonomic injuries, musculoskeletal disorders, and controls. Definition: ergonomics means defining ways to work easier and just as productive. It means working smarter, not harder. Ergonomic changes generally are not expensive and can be very simple. They include planning, tools and equipment, cooperation, training. Planning. Plan the job to minimize manual handling of heavy materials. Make sure crane time is available, forklifts are used often, and materials are delivered and stored close to where they will be used. Store materials so they are accessible, e.g., not above shoulder height or at ground level, but not in the way of ongoing work. Make sure walkways are even and clear so carts and dollies can be easily employed. Tools and equipment. Use better ergonomically designed tools which may be lighter weight, require less force to operate, fit the hand better, and is more comfortable to use. Use carts, dollies, and hoists rather than your own strength to move materials. Use protective equipment like knee pads and shoulder pads to reduce the contact stresses of kneeling or carrying materials. Cooperation. Get help when needed to handle heavy loads. Organize stretching programs before work begins each day. Training. Train workers on the proper techniques for lifting, bending, and carrying at the job site, including don't twist when lifting, keep the load close to your body, if possible, arrange for work to be done in a power zone. The power zone for lifting is close to the body between the mid-thigh and the mid-chest height. Grip the load firmly with your whole hand, not just your fingers. Lift in a smooth motion, don't jerk. Training continued. Use 2 people to handle loads heavier than 40 to 50 pounds. If the load looks like more than you can handle, get help either from another person or by using a mechanical/moving aid. Set up a regular time to talk about ergonomic issues and improvement ideas. Ergonomic injuries. Injuries occur in several ways, such as heavy, frequent, or awkward lifting, repetitive tasks, awkward grips and/or postures, using excessive force and/or overexertion, using the wrong tools for the job or using them improperly, improperly maintained tools, hand-intense work. Musculoskeletal disorders. Ergonomic hazards can lead to musculoskeletal disorders and injuries. Strains and sprains are one of the most common injuries among construction workers. Other common construction musculoskeletal disorders include tendinitis, carpal tunnel syndrome, low back fatigue, and low back pain. Controls. 2 factors typically play into a musculoskeletal disorder caused by working in the construction industry are overexertion, cumulative tissue damage. Avoid both risk factors with these ergonomic tips. Controls continued. Use a forklift to lift or transport the heaviest materials on the job. When working in narrow aisles or other spaces that don't allow forklift traffic, use carts or portable tables. The fewer lifts you make, the less chance there will be to develop a musculoskeletal injury. Wear good fitting thermal gloves to help with cold conditions while maintaining the ability to grasp items easy. Controls continued. If you can't avoid a manual lift, use proper lifting techniques. Keep your back straight, hold loads close to your chest, and avoid twisting or sudden movements. Test the load before you lift. If it feels like a challenge, call a co-worker and execute a two-person lift. In general, employees shouldn't try to lift more than 50 pounds unassisted. Pushing and pulling can also cause injuries when it forces the worker to reach outside the ergonomic power zone to exert the necessary force. Controls continued. Prefabricate at ground level, preferably on adjustable workstations if possible. Installing fixtures in ceiling requires the worker to hold their arms up over their head for long periods of time. After a while, that could lead to musculoskeletal disorders. Instead, pre-built as much as possible before installation. Using a table or elevated work area makes the ideal workstations. Lift zones. Try to stage and handle items such as boxes in your strike or power zone, held close to your body to limit reaching. Always avoid twisting at the waist by keeping your feet pointed in the direction of the task. And this shows you the danger zone, the power zone where the box is close to the body, and then the danger zone also by the feet. Lift zones. Your at-risk zone is below the knees or above the head. When you try to lift in these areas, your back muscles work harder, which may result in an injury. To protect your back when you must lift in your at-risk zone, maintain a solid base of support with your feet. Bend with your legs, not your back. Lift weight using your arms and leg muscles. Lift zones continued. Your danger zone is below the knees and 12 inches or greater in front of your feet. This is where your back is most vulnerable to injury because it necessitates bending and reaching. To protect your back when you must lift in the danger zone, lighten your load, move your feet close to the load as possible, bend your legs, not with your back. If you must reach, bend at the hips, make smooth, consistent movements. And here shows the lift zone, and a 50-pound package is within the lift zone. And once you hold that package up above in the danger zone, out in front of you or below you in those danger zones, the musculoskeletal injury chance increases. Proper lifting techniques. Lifting from the ground. Keep the load close to your body and lift by pushing up with your legs. This technique may be effective only if the loads are small, lightweight, and can easily fit between your knees. Keep the tailbone pointed towards the ground. This diagram shows a two-person lifting technique, and the diagram on the left side person is doing it correctly, the right side person is not. And the diagram on the right, again, right side is correctly lifting, the left person is not. Any questions?